Evening guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be quite like a chilled, self-reflective video, maybe a little bit self-indulgent, but I think it's nice to hear from somebody else's perspective where they're at with their life and where they're going and what they're proud of. And we see a lot of kind of stuff on social media, like people getting married and getting pregnant and all these kind of big life milestones happening at such a young age. And I think it can make you compare yourself to others, make you just feel inadequate, like you're not where you're supposed to be. But at the end of the day, everyone's on their own path, everyone's on their own journey, and some might be slower in certain areas, and that's okay. It's okay. Like, there's no rush, there's infinite time. You are young. Stop comparing yourself to others, it will get you nowhere. I've realized that 100%. Everyone's on a different path, and you need to just stick to your own lane, stick to your own vision. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Just be happy for your friends. At the end of the day, you'd want them to be happy for you, so be happy for them. Life is not a competition, it's not a race, you know. Also, I just like to highlight the fact that age really is just a number, and you can be young at any age. It's more about your mindset. I think some people when they get to a certain age, they feel like they can't try new things or take up new hobbies, or their life is how it is now, and it's stuck. It's not going to change, and I'm not going to try to change it. I think some people get stuck in that hole, and I definitely don't want to be one of those people. I'm not going to be constrained by age. I think it's crazy. I know. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But basically, where the idea for this video came from is because I'm turning 21 tomorrow, and that does feel like quite a big milestone in someone's life. 21. I feel like that's the last big birthday before 30 in big way. I know that's a big leap, but there's no real big birthdays in between that time. So I thought it'd be a good time to just kind of reflect on my life so far, my achievements, where I'm at now and where I want to go. I feel like it's a perfect time to do that, and I want to be like realistic and honest. So I don't want to sugarcoat anything for you guys. So I'm going to kick off with the questions now. What's your biggest achievement? I want to say the traveling I did in my gap year. I know that sounds really snobbish and like, um, yeah, basically it was just such a massive deal for me because I basically went traveling in Europe with people that I'd never met before on my own. It was part of like a group tour, but it was still such a massive deal for me because I'm a very like quiet kind of introvert person, especially around new people who have never met before. So to be kind of thrown into that situation where you're together all the time, you're sleeping in the same rooms together, you're traveling, you're sitting on the coach together, all that kind of stuff. It was a very intense and stressful situation for me, and massively out of my comfort zone in every respect. Like, especially as well because I hadn't travelled a lot. I'd only been to Italy on a plane once when I was 16 before I went travelling to all these different countries in the space of 10 days. So it was a very full on experience for me in general. I think the scariest part was probably just signing up for it, and then from that day that I paid all that money to go, I knew that I had to go, and I knew that I wanted to push myself and I wanted to do it because I'd feel so good afterwards. And I am so happy that I did it because it actually turned out to be a really positive experience. I met loads of people, some amazing girls, and yeah, it just really helped to broaden my horizons. And I think traveling does give you a different perspective on your world and your life. And I'd love to sort of take it a step further and go to some poor countries and maybe do some volunteering and help out, because I feel like seeing people that do have it worse off than you completely changes the outlook on life. And yeah, I'd love to do more traveling for sure. What do you love most at 21 that you didn't think you would? Am I allowed to say myself? What do you love most at 21? I genuinely never thought that I'd reach a point where I just really loved myself. I went through a period during kind of my teenage years of just genuinely hating myself. Like I think I had body dysmorphia. I just thought I was so ugly and nobody would ever look at me. No one would ever like me. I also had like crippling anxiety in school. I didn't really speak. I was really quiet. Um, I'm still quiet. I'm just an introvert, and I've come to realize that that's okay. Like, I might have qualities that some extroverts would love to have. Everyone's strong in different areas, and that is okay. Like, you're an introvert, you like to spend time alone, and that is fine. And I think that's something in school that I never really understood, because I always thought that sort of you needed to be extroverted to get on in life, and you needed to be an extrovert to enjoy yourself. And I still enjoy myself even if I'm not the loudest person in the room. Like, I'm still enjoying being there, and like I still enjoy people's company even if I can't socialize in big groups. That's fine, that's okay. And please just that actually leads on to the next question. If you could tell your 15-year-old self one thing, what would it be? I would tell her that as long as you're happy and you're living your life the way that you want to live it, then don't care about what other people think, because that will get you nowhere. You know, I tend to have the mentality now of like, we're all going to die eventually and nothing's going to matter. You know, the biggest love story of your life is the relationship you have with yourself. If you love yourself, then no one can get you down and nothing can get in your way. And I think I've come a long way already, but at 15, I was a mess, and I didn't understand any of this stuff. And I really did hate myself. I struggled with body image as well. Like, I'm on the shorter side, and I used to think that if you weren't a tall, skinny model, that no one would ever want you, and you didn't matter. And I think, like, I don't know, it's man, it's hard to think about that time. It really is, because I genuinely did hate myself. And I think with body image, like, perhaps I was a little bit overweight in school. I was definitely a bit chubbier because I wasn't aware of how to look after myself, really. I sort of just like to binge out, and like I found school really difficult, emotionally and mentally. And so when I came home, I used to kind of just binge out on chocolate a lot to kind of fill that void. So yeah, I probably was a bit chubbier than I should have been. I'm definitely not happy with my body now, but I used to sort of hate my thick thighs and think, I need to have a thigh gap. And yeah, I think I had taller, skinnier friends, and I'd sort of be jealous of them. And yeah, I don't know. My teenage years were just very turbulent internally, and I tell my 15-year-old self to just stop worrying, because it will be okay. It will get really hard, but then it will get better. If you could live abroad, where would you love to live? Ooh, this is an interesting one for me, because I think I do love traveling. I love to get different perspectives on the world. I think it's really important, but I actually wouldn't want to live anywhere else other than the UK. I think when I was away, I underestimated how much I would actually miss Britain, British culture. I think England will always be the only place that really feels like home. I think I've missed the sense of humour, even the food, even the fish and chips. I think you don't realise when you're away, it just, nowhere else I don't think would feel like home. So even though I can't wait to travel and explore the world and meet people from different cultures, I think permanent residency wise, it probably always will be the UK. My only complaint about England is, of course, the weather. And on a serious note, like, I do think I have seasonal depressive disorder, without doubt. When it is sunny, my mood can just completely turn around. So I think perhaps in an ideal world, having a house in a hotter country, maybe Spain, where I could go to escape the winter months in England would just be the ideal setup. But yeah, I think England will always be my home. What things have you achieved that you're proud of before 21? Well, probably my academic achievements. I've never really considered myself like smart or intelligent. I pretty much did average across the board in school. But I did do the start of a politics degree last year. I completed year one and I actually did a lot better than I thought I was going to. So I was really proud of myself for that. My test results were actually really good, and I really didn't think I had it in me. I didn't really think I was capable of getting anything above average, but when I put my mind to it, I can actually. So that was definitely a proud achievement. Obviously, like I said, the traveling. I don't know, I think my biggest achievement is just surviving and just making it through my very turbulent teenage years, because it wasn't easy, but I'm proud of myself for coming through and I think coming out of it the other end. Um, what are your goals before turning 30? So as I discussed previously, I think my main goal is probably to own my own house for sure. On my own, ideally. I don't want to have to rely on anyone else. I don't want to feel trapped financially with anyone else. I want to be an independent, grown-ass woman, own my own house. Work a job I love for sure. Become a mum, I think. Yeah, I've always just wanted my own family. I've always wanted to be a mum. It's something that I can't wait to do. So I think it will just be the best job in the world. But obviously, I want to have a great setup. I want to have everything ready so that I can give them a good life before I do that. And I'm nowhere near ready for that right now. I want to get more tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, so I want to get at least a tattoo. I've wanted to get one for ages, but I'm very critical of like everything I do. I think my friends know me as a literal yo-yo. I'm up and down with everything. One day I'll like something, love it, and the next minute I'll just hate it. I change my mind like the wind. So I just think if I got a tattoo, I'd wake up the next day and I'd fucking hate it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a dodgy ground for me, but I want to be sure about a tattoo, be 100% sure about it, get it. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I also think I want to be more content in my own company. Like, I spend so much time alone as it is, but I mean, like, going out and doing things, like almost dating myself. Like, be comfortable going to a restaurant on my own. Like, I do a lot of things on my own, but I don't think I could do that. I'm not quite that stage. I'd love to get to that stage. Yeah, even like having a weekend away on my own, or like go traveling on my own. Who knows? Like, yeah, I'd love to get to that stage. Ooh. What's on your birthday wish list? Well, in terms of that, it was just a new phone, which I've done. But I just want to enjoy the day with my parents, with my family. Just have a really nice day. Just enjoy myself, chill out, eat lots of cake. My mum's cooking a roast dinner, which will always, always, always be my favourite food in the world. She cooks the best roast dinner, so I can't wait for that. What's the biggest thing you've learned since your last birthday? Well, obviously this year it's probably been one of the toughest years of my life so far, just because being stuck away, isolated with your own thoughts, not really having anything to distract yourself, maybe your usual coping mechanisms. For me, like going to the gym is a massive one. I haven't been able to do that. Going to see friends, going out drinking, all that stuff that you do in normal life, you haven't been able to do this year. So I've really had to sort of look at myself, face up to my inner demons, and just sort of learn to be comfortable in myself and my own company. And that has been the scariest and hardest thing I've had to do. But we're nearly, we're 1.5 years in now, and I feel like I've got to a really good stage of it. So I'm proud of myself for that. Where would you like to be this time next year, career and personal life? Career-wise, I'd like to have more experience in the field. Like, I've never worked for a mental health charity. I've never sort of done any social care work or anything like that. So I'd love to get some experience in that area. Maybe volunteer for the Samaritans or volunteer for one of those charities, maybe a helpline, something like that. Personal wise, I'd like to sort of find my people a bit more. I'd like to find like-minded people. I feel like that can add so much to your life. I'm the kind of person who doesn't make a lot of friends, but the friends I do make are will become really close and special to me, and probably like people I'll be friends with forever. So I'd love to find more people like that. Um, so yeah, just meet loads of new people, find new friends. I'm not gonna search for love because I feel like you only really find it when you're not looking for it. So if it happens, it happens. Great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I feel like you can get your sense of belonging and emotional support from friends who can become like family. Um, what is your current definition of success, and has it changed since being 20? Um, I think when I was 20, probably like 19, 20, I kind of thought that like knowing loads of people and having a busy schedule and being out all the time and being really sociable was like the definition of a successful life. But I think going to uni this year has made me realize that like you can sort of be with a group of people and you can still feel alone even in a room full of people. It's about the quality of the interactions you have, how meaningful the connections are, and that's what really matters. It's quality over quantity with friends, and I think I've realized that a lot this year. I think during the pandemic you have realized who your actual friends are, who actually cares about you, and whose company you actually enjoy. Because you can't go out and get pissed, and that'd be fun with anyone, but someone you can actually talk to on the phone and have a conversation with, that's so precious and valuable. So I think I've definitely realized that. I think I've just realized as long as you're happy and content, then it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It doesn't really matter what people think of you. I think that's a major one. I think having a high status job, 20 degrees, you can still not be happy. You could be happier pushing trolleys at Tesco. I think that's probably a major one for me as well. So the next question is, what do you want to accomplish whilst you're 21? Well, a major one for me would be passing my driving test. Um, yeah, I definitely want to pass my driving test. I did it when I was, I think, 18 or 19. I failed it pretty shockingly as well. I got like two majors and like God knows how many minors. It was just a shit show from start to finish. The car that I had, I did it in my own car, and it was so difficult to drive. Like even my dad, who he doesn't say these things lightly, so it was really difficult to drive. Um, yeah, it was just, oh, it was horrible. My driving instructor wasn't very good. He could get very shouty. I think it made me feel too panicked. So I need a new driving instructor, and I've got a different car now. Um, it is an automatic car, which people are absolutely slating me for because I want to take my test in it, which means taking a different test specifically for automatic cars. But why the fuck would anyone drive a manual car when an automatic car exists? I do not understand it. It's a complete different experience. It's so much more enjoyable. Like, I genuinely think I would never go back. Like, even if I was buying my own car, I'd just get an automatic. It's like driving a fucking go-kart. It's fantastic. You don't have to worry about rolling back or changing gear or any of that stuff. I don't think it even has a clutch. Well, yeah, it does, but you don't have to use it. Like it's just yeah, it's such an enjoyable driving experience because I'm a very anxious driver in general. I think a lot of the time I just don't trust myself. Like just I could just be daydreaming, and it's people's lives in your hands. So yeah, get confident at driving and pass my test. And it will be an automatic test. I don't care what anyone says. Um, what's your favourite birthday present you've ever received? Oh my god, I remember when I was little, my parents, they built me a trampoline in the garden overnight. My dad stayed up to build it, and then in the morning when I came in, it was there in the garden built, and I just remember being so excited as a kid. It was just like, oh yeah, that was definitely a memorable one. Um, I don't know what else I've had for birthdays. I remember as well, Mum getting me a pink Barbie themed bike when I was little. I remember just absolutely loving that. But Yeah, so that's actually the end of the questions. I feel like it was a really positive experience just to reflect on your biggest achievements. Why the hell not? Why shouldn't you reflect on your big achievements? I feel like we don't do that enough. We should have more admiration for ourselves and be proud of what we've accomplished. There's nothing wrong in doing that. It's definitely just a form of self love and therapy in some ways. So I'd definitely recommend it to anyone. But yeah, I feel like this is probably the last big birthday I'm gonna have, and it does feel like quite a big milestone. But um, I've reached a good point now where I'm not afraid of aging because I'm young. I've got my whole life ahead of me. I'm not gonna feel trapped by age at 21 years old. I think some people just feel, I'm old now. Like, but yeah, I would challenge you to change your mindset if you do feel like that, especially maybe if you're in your middle 20s or late 20s and you feel like that. Don't let age define you. It really is just a number, and you can feel young or act young or be healthy and fit at any age if you take care of yourself and eat right and you exercise. Like, I know my grandma, she's in her 90s. She has a perfect, brilliant mind, and she's had a lot of health problems, but she's still fighting fit and she's still enjoying her life at the age of 90. So that just shows that you've got loads of time. Don't stress about it. Try new things, do new things. Don't feel limited by a stupid fucking number. Don't do that. So I hope you guys have a really good Easter weekend, and I'm hoping to do a Vinted haul next week because I've ordered a load of stuff. Got literally no idea if it's going to be nice or not, but fingers crossed. Bye, guys.